I built a £1 million portfolio, and let me show you how you can do it yourself. So this video is all about how you can build your property portfolio. Everyone talks about the magic number, the one that hit, whether it's capital value or it's a number of houses. But really, one of the most important things you can do and what you actually need to do during that time is build a system. So within this here, I'm going to talk through the system I've built and the system I use to build my portfolio. Now, to start off with, my name's Shane Niblock. I have built a £1 million portfolio based in and around Belfast using the BRR buy-to-let method. Within this video though, I'm not going to specifically talk about that there. I'm going to talk about a system which is in theory can be applicable across a number of different sort of property strategies, whether it's your student accommodation, your HMOs, various other different ones you can use. Not flipping, but kind of can reply to flipping as well to a certain degree. It's just going to be a lot. You might just have to tweak it. Really, let's start off. First of the 5 points is have one clear strategy. You see a lot of people talk about how you should have knowledge of loads of different strategies, and that's not wrong. But really what you're wanting to do is find a strategy that works for you, whether that's HMOs or buy-to-let like I've done, or student accommodation, various service accommodation, things like that there. The reason why I believe it's really important to stick to one strategy is you're minimizing distractions, and that's really important because you've got a focused goal you're wanting to try to achieve. Minimizing distractions and knowing exactly what you want narrows your field of focus in terms of what's available. There's loads and loads of properties around, there's loads of different options you can take, but if you've narrowed your field down to one strategy, it allows you to really focus on finding the perfect property for that there and stick to that there until you've hit your goal. Feel free to learn about other strategies, gain knowledge in that there. Try to focus on one strategy. That then leads us on to actually the next really important point is your location and property criteria. The reason why I talk about this here again is goes back almost to the last point as well, is trying to narrow down what you're looking for. If you go into buy-to-let, what type of buy-to-lets are you going to do? Is a really good example. Like for me, I'm focusing on sort of the one family let, so your terrace type properties, your semi-detached type properties, or even apartments, they're all kind of similar, but really trying to focus on what you're going to do within that field. For me, I look at a particular location, I go, right, there's a number of houses in that location within, let's say, a half a mile radius, even the mile radius. I know what I want to achieve, I can achieve in that location. That allows you to know some of the issues that are common in that area, whether if you know, for example, a lot of them have bay windows, but they're old houses, it might be damp around there. You might know, while they say there's 3 bedrooms, it's really 2 beds and box room. Just understanding these here, and this allows you to really hone in, know what the price is, know what you can actually get from there, and it again just narrows that wide field of properties down into something that's simple and allows you to really focus and allows you to make quick decisions and go yes, no, yes, no, yes, no really quickly. Probably be a lot more no's there than yeses. Hopefully you get my point. Now, the next one actually then is really important, is your deal flow system. This sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is, but really trying to get it down to how you finding the properties. Now, there's a number of different methods to do this, and actually on this method, try to use as much methods as you can, because more opportunities, more inbound opportunities and more deals you have flowing into yourself, the better it is. It means the better property you can purchase and understand and get that. So what I'm talking about here is direct to vendor, which is whether you're doing that through letter campaigns, social media campaigns, or whatever that there, you're reaching out to landlords or property owners who maybe don't have their property on site for whatever reason, on sale, they haven't thought about it or they don't know, and that's where you can maybe pick up deals which aren't going on in the market. Auctions, which I've used quite a lot, which has been really good for me, trying to find the right deal there, which is good, or even your traditional Rightmove Property Pal. Whatever way works best for you. I would personally advise you to use multiple, because it just means you're getting a lot more coming in. The next point here is having a reliable builder and refurb process. Finding a good builder is always difficult. Any property investor will talk about you having them be reliable, knowing that the trust is thing, and this isn't something you're going to get in your first time. Probably that this is actually a fair point to make on all of these here, is you're not going to have a builder or any of these here you're not going to get in the first time. This is going to be a process, an iteration process that comes over time. Having a good builder means you can trust them. You find a good way of working with them, whether it's communication through WhatsApp, emails, or whatever way works for yourself and the builder, but having that process of working with the builder, knowing how they communicate some of their issues and stuff like that there, what works for you. And also, again, what's really important is creating that working relationship with the builder, that they're happy to work with you. Connected to that there and on the same point is your refurb system. Now, personally for me, I want to do things differently almost each house, but that isn't the right process. And the reason why I'm talking to say that there is that you have to have a way of where your builder knows exactly what you want. You know what you want to achieve in a house, and that allows you to then go into a house and you know exactly how much the refurb is going to cost. So you know, you go into the house, you look at the bathroom going like, right, if I have to rip that whole bathroom out, I'm going to use the same bathroom from the previous house, which I've also used in 3 other houses, but it's really good quality. So you instantly know that's £5,000. You know the kitchen is going to be £6,000. And then you know the painter is maybe £2,000. So you know in theory that refurb might cost you £13,000. Understand that, being able to go in, make those quick decisions and be able to know what your refurb cost is going to be allows you to be able to price your property better, allows you to be able to buy at a better price, which is one of the key elements in any strategy, is buying at the right price. Talking about that there is your finance and management system. So the finance system is how you're going to be able to afford the properties and the refurbs, and your management system is where you're talking about what happens post it. Now, if you're flipping post it, you're sold, you don't need to worry about it. But if you're doing anything of where you're renting the properties out, are you going to be managing it yourself? Is it going to be a VA? Or are you going to have a property management company come in? Personally, for me, I like a property management coming in, particularly at the stage I'm at, because it means less work for me. I can focus on finding the properties, refurbing the properties, and then handing it over to the lettings and management team to get the right people in. So that's kind of where I would advise you to focus on that there. Your finance system is, particularly if you're following, for example, like the BRR system, which a lot of people will look to do, is pull money out of their properties at some stage. Is how you doing that there? How are you affording that there? Have you got a private investor you're working with? Do they need to be paid back? Having this system of where you've got a couple of different options at each stage, so you know how you're going to afford your properties. So if you're doing the BRR, which can apply to a number of different strategies, whether it's BRR HMOs, BRR buy-to-lets, you know with that there, after let's say 6 months, you can refinance at 75% or at whatever percentage and then pull money out, and that means you can pay off. But understanding how you might hit difficulties at different stages. A lot of people talk about getting private investors, a lot of people talk about bridging. Understand what system you're comfortable using with, and even if it's a couple of different, you have option 1 is investor, but for whatever reason that might not work out, you have option 2 going in there. Have that system in place, that finance system in place. That means deals, when you find them and get them, aren't going to fall through, and you have some sort of way of making it work. So let's recap everything. If you're looking to build a large property portfolio, whether it's capital value or it's number of houses, this is my system which I've used to build my own. Starts off with use 1 clear strategy. Number 2 is location and property criteria, making sure you've got that nailed down, you know the location, types of properties you're looking for. Number 3 is your deal flow system. Use multiple ways of getting deals coming to you, whether it's Rightmove, PropertyPal, direct to vendor, or number of different systems. Having a reliable builder and refurb process, quite self-explanatory there, but making sure that your builder knows what you want and you have a good communication system, and having a sort of refurb which you kind of repeat over and over again so you understand what the costs are. And then lastly, your finance and management system. How are you going to afford the deals, and how are the deals going to then be, the property is going to be managed post it. So this is how the system I personally used to scale my property portfolio to over $1 million. Now, if you're interested in working with me, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and we can have a talk there, whether that's you want to work with me one-on-one, learning the systems I've used, or if you want to work with me, maybe finding the property, feel free to send me a DM and we'll have a chat about that. Other than that, guys, hope you've had a great time. Really appreciate you watching it. If you can drop a like and a follow, that would be a great help. And if you've got anything from this, or there's anything you want me to clarify, feel free to drop a comment and we'll either create a video or I'll reply back to you. Appreciate that. Cheers. Bye.